Hey peeps, grab a beverage of choice because we are about to dish for quite some time together. It's that time of year we're doing our seasonal favorites. So this is going to be my late winter, early spring 2024 favorites list. And it's going to be a long one because we're doing witchy and non-witchy in this video. So we're going to be talking about decks, spiritual path, kind of where I am on my journey with that right now. And then we're also going to be talking about makeup, music, books, candles, perfume, all of those beautiful, lovely things as well. So, man, I am just feeling so creatively inspired and just so in lust with my spiritual journey right now. It's really beautiful when you've walked your path for a long period of time and you can savor those moments when all of the inner work from a period of time is being reflected in your physical realm. And I'm really having that experience of the really difficult inner work that I did in November, December, and January. Just stepping into such a state of blossoming and excitement and joy now, moving from February into March. And it's such a lusty, creative time for me as well. I'm feeling really inspired in my offerings and in the content that I'm creating, not only in session and through mentorship packages, but also through workshop and Sabbath offerings too. The last Sabbath observance that we had just really lit me up, and gosh, I have just been like nonstop creating since then. And I was really working with the goddess Venus in January and February very intimately, very intensely. You know, she is the goddess of love and lust, but there's also a level of warfare that's associated with Venus. And I have found that in my devotion to her in her dark phase, she has brought to be some of the most intense forms of shadow work for me, but always very lovingly connected and worked with. And in order for me to craft the most recent workshop offering in her honor, which I will put the link to purchase below in case you want to participate in that, the title of that workshop is Lusting the Artist Within. We really went deep into self-doubt, lack of self-trust, and self-worth and value. And coming out the other side of that creation space with her, I just feel like there's such a sense of celebration. And, you know, typically I get a little break in between creation work for workshops because I always say, like, in order to hold the space as a priestess for those workshops, I usually have to move through something in my life that causes expansion and growth. And then the theme presents itself. And so I thought, you know, okay, I've just finished with Venus, probably have a little breathing room here before the next goddess steps forward for our initiation, if you will. But Lilith has come pounding right through. And so we've started to work over the last few days together on not only what will become offerings for the community that feel drawn to participate, but also just personally on the path, working together. And Lilith is a confronting energy as well. And it's so funny, you know, I always know when it's Lilith because I need to wear velvet. Babylon and Lilith are all about the velvet for me. I've got to put velvet on if I'm working with them. Venus is very much lace and satins and silks. But with Lilith and with Babylon, and I would say with Hecate as well, I'm always drawn to put on the velvet. I need that texture, that kind of sumptuous sinking in texture of velvet. I don't know why for me, but that is always the case. In both Lilith and Venus, I work with really bright, intense reds. With Lilith, a little bit more on the oh my God, I literally just lost the word. On the orange red side of things. Then with Venus, it's more of the like pinkish red tones that pull me in. I'm not really a pink girl ever, but that kind of really warm red, a blue red, but also like a warmer red, all tend to be colors and tones that come through for me when I'm working with specific faces of deity. And yeah, the call and the kind of handing over process between the two of them has been really beautiful. And I feel so blessed to be at a space in my path where I'm very consciously connected to that process now. You know, sometimes it would take me a little bit in the past and be like, oh, I'm in the middle of transitioning between deity right now. But it's been very clear that Lilith was popping back in to be primary connection wise at this point in time. So in my decks, you're going to see a little bit of a shift over, because I have been working a lot with Venusian energy, but now I'm starting to move over more into Lilith. And I've also really been feeling very connected to the Celtic pantheon, at which I haven't worked with this intimately in a long time, and particularly Cernunnos, really feeling very connected to him, and just, yeah, just so... So I think we'll start with decks. We'll start with the witchy chat, and then I'll go non-witchy. So if you don't want to be here for non-witchy, you can click off. I'll let you know when I'm going to switch over. But I think we'll start with witchy just because I am kind of expressing what's been moving along within my spiritual journey right now. But there's such a, you know, I want to say this to anyone who's in the middle of maybe maneuvering through an ending in a relationship, but I have found this real intense fire now, and you don't have to be single to be able to explore creativity, so please don't think that's what I'm saying. But for me personally, and if you're in a space where you're now out of a relationship, you know, you can at times feel so lonely or wonder like, what's wrong with me, right? But I have to say the last few years, having spent the majority of this time being single, has been the most creatively inspired time. And I have really just come to know myself at this level where I feel, approaching 40, very grounded and comfortable in my own skin, and so connected to the goddess. Every second, every moment feels like an offering to her and a connection to her, and the ecstasy of that union. And I'm really thankful that I'm having this ability to devote all of my free time to my path, and that this is my job as well. So I get to make my connection with the goddess and my path front and center, and the creations that result from that. It's just so goddamn fulfilling. And I'm really grateful. So if you are finding that you're moving through a period of time where you are single, and, you know, you have that sense of like, I don't want to be single, or I feel so alone, I just want to offer you an encouragement that if you can stay present with yourself, you know, and don't just rush into the next entanglement, you can really connect it and come to understand and know yourself in just fucking awesome ways. So please don't think, you know, you have to be in a relationship to feel filled with fire and passion and lust. This has been the lustiest time of my life, not being in partnership, but outside of my role as mom, really just being able to focus on my path and understanding me and my own evolution. And it's been so juicy and lusty and fun. So it's a little affirmation for you if you are single. And of course, if you're in a partnership, that we can still very powerfully explore our spiritual paths and journeys with partners as well. But I've been profoundly thankful and really enjoying not having additional responsibility or someone else's words in the way of, if it's time to sit down and channel either messages or a workshop or anything that comes through, I have the ability, outside of, again, my responsibilities as a mom, to just jump right in and go in that direction. You know, if it's just time, if it's 5 o'clock on Friday and I've just got to sit in front of the altar and journey with the goddess because she's coming forward for us to talk, I get to do that, and it's pretty fucking sweet. So I've just really been reveling in the joy and beauty of that, and just feeling so profoundly grateful to my gods and my path, and it's just in love with that journey. and really getting very comfortable over the last few years in sharing authentically about, you know, the gods that I do worship and how intimate and personal our connections are. I'm really loving settling into feeling very comfortable with that expression of my path and not needing to homogenize something as much to make other people, or what I deem to make other people, feel more comfortable or to seem more normal. I think I'm really settling into my own sense of being different from others and feeling comfortable with that. And I'm also so deeply grateful for the work that I get to do within our community, and that we're all sharing this journey together. It's just so beautiful. I feel so profoundly grateful and just lusty. I think my word for myself this year is lust. And the beauty of that lust, when the ecstasy of it is spiritual, it's so goddamn delicious. So yeah, I've really been exploring those arenas and feeling just so smitten with the goddess, and again, with walking a path that's so intimately connected with her, and you know, hanging out with the boys too on occasion. Satan always makes sure I don't forget about him. So okay, so let's talk about what decks I'm using, because I've already been chatting for almost 15 minutes and we haven't even looked at a deck. Okay, so like I said, there's going to be some there's a flow in and out that's happening. Honorable mention to Wild Wisdom of the Faery. I'm not working with her daily as much as I was at the beginning of the month, but I'm still really enjoying reconnecting with this deck, and especially using it in the It's Witchcraft offerings that I have been doing for viewers and clients. And I will try and remember to post a link to that in the description box below as well. Also, guys, sorry about my nail polish. It's just, I assumed that you did actually want a video this week, so messed up nail polish, unfortunately, part of that journey. It's school vacation this week, so Vincent is being patient and letting me record here for a little bit before we go do some Vincent things. But yeah, I love the energy of this deck. I'm so thankful that I didn't gift it or donate it. I'm so thankful that I let her sit in my collection for a long time, because reconnecting with Wild Wisdom of the Faery has been really, really beautiful. And I think that this is a nice all-around deck insofar as you can use it for shadow work, themes, for underlying patterns to situations and dynamics, but you can also use it as an affirmational deck, as a deck that's giving you messages of love and support from your guides and your path. This is a nice all-around deck, and it does have the beautiful artwork by Selena Fennick. And if you like a slightly, it's still Fae accurate to me, but if you like a slightly softer vibe for the Fae than Brian Froud's decks, then I think you'll enjoy this. But this one I was using a great deal personally at the beginning of February, and it's still in heavy rotation in client readings. So I wanted to make sure that I did mention that. I just did a compare and contrast with Hidden Realms and Witch Sister Tarot, and both of these decks are in heavy rotation in my practice personally as well as professionally, because also both of these decks are coming into a lot of client readings for the It's Witchcraft offerings. The Hidden Realms, which is the deck I'm showing you right now by Julia Jeffrey, with the guidebook by Barbara Moore, is a really beautiful Fae deck, and a deck of community and exploration and magic. And it's really wonderful to use in general tarot readings, but also in looking at your spiritual path. This has come forward in the It's Witchcraft offerings, especially for people who are, it seems like it's really coming forward to work with those who are exploring times of action and empowerment, very fire element related experiences on their path. That journey into the Hidden Realms has really come forward powerfully for that. So Witch Sister Tarot, this one very strong in my personal practice right now. I cannot tell you how in love I am with this deck, also by Julia Jeffrey. She did the guidebook for this one. This is my favorite of the two if I had to make a choice. This deck is so personal for me. It's kindred. It feels like a companion on the path. And it very much holds the energy of Cernunnos and the Morrigan, McNevin. Just, oh my God. It also has a feel of Bridget and Rhiannon. It's just so earth element. It's so daily magic of your practice and path. And I've really been loving working with it to understand myself on any given day. So it's been part of my personal daily draw deck to understand where I'm at and who I am on any given day. And the messages have been profound. It's a very honest deck, but the Witch Sister Tarot is also like, I'm going to use the word galvanizing, because I feel inspired after I work with the Witch Sister Tarot. I feel like I want to take what I've learned and then move it forward in the direction that's authentic to my path, if that makes sense. So Witch Sister Tarot has been one of my most used decks of the last few months, and transformative deck, really reinvigorated my love for tarot as well. Not that my love for tarot had gone anywhere, but just, you get those decks when you're a seasoned reader that give you a perspective shift on specific cards, and you just get so fucking excited because it's like, oh my God, tarot is a lifelong love and path, because fuck, there's always something new to learn. There's always a new way in. There's a new door that opens up and you're like, oh my God, I hadn't worked with the Tower card that way. This is amazing. And the Witch Sister Tarot is one of those decks. So the Goddess of Love Tarot was in heavy rotation in February when I was crafting the Lusting the Artist Within workshop. And it is a daily go-between for me and the Goddess Venus. This is the main deck that I use to communicate with her at this time. And I really enjoy it for that reason. It's up on my altar still. And I use this deck every day right now. I do use this in client readings, not as much as the previous two decks that I just shared, but I do work with this with clients as well. This is by Gabby Herstick. I love this deck. Love, love, love the Goddess of Love Tarot. And if you're looking to connect more intimately with Venus, that is a deck that I highly recommend. Okay. The Archetypes Oracle I've been using in my It's Witchcraft offerings and in general client readings. So I've been using this every day. And I've also just been enjoying getting to know it personally for myself. And I've been pulling from it, not from a divinatory perspective, but more from an understanding of where I am, again, in my story, be it with a certain situation at a certain point in time for the season. With the Virgo full moon we just had, I pulled for that. Like, what's the general energy that I'm engaging with and dancing with and embodying during this particular full moon? I think this is a great deck for that type of awareness, and it's a great deck to use to connect with those kind of touchstone moments and spaces and places in time when you know something significant is happening and you want to feel for the pulse. This is a great deck to connect with that for. And archetypally, it's beautiful for in readings with clients to use this deck to give clarity to what archetype or myth they are currently interacting with in their story. So this is like a working deck for me, and it's a very strong, powerful one. Highly recommend it. I have so many decks because I'm in such a lusty phase with my practice. The Witches Compendium Oracle, no, Compendium of Witches. I'll put it in the list down below, guys. This has come up a great deal as a clarifying oracle deck to the Witch Sister Tarot and the Hidden Realms Tarot. And it's beautiful for my It's Witchcraft offering. So I've been using this a lot for that. And God, I love this deck. It just sweetens over time. It's like Coastal Curiosities. I just fall more and more in love with it. I'm so grateful to the sister in tarot who was like, no, Racine, you got to get this deck, because she was 100% right. It's really, really special. And I like how we have these kind of archetypes and then tools and spirit of place represented within this deck. It really gives you a feel into a lived life as a witch when you're working at multiple levels in that way. And I love how it's rooted in that energy, and you really feel this sense of the, I don't know, every time I pull from it, I just feel like, oh man, there's my practice like fleshed out before me, you know? So Compendium of Witches, really, really special. I'm really loving working with that deck, primarily in client readings right now, but like I said, also as a clarifier to my tarot practice as well right now. Okay, these two, actually, let me do this one first. So I haven't talked about this deck on the channel because I erroneously thought that there wasn't a guidebook with this deck, and I didn't want to put a deck out there that didn't have some kind of touchstone to come back to, and I was dead wrong about that. In fact, I reached out to the creator or creatrix of the deck recently because I went to go onto her site to see her online guidebook. She has an online guidebook, a PDF version is available. And she had changed sites, so I actually got to have a brief exchange with her, and she's, this deck very much does have a guidebook. It's just a digital one. I had missed that when I purchased. This is another deck that I purchased due to a client, and we were working with the deck in a shadow work package she had purchased. And I really love this deck, and I've kept it very close to my heart, and I've been very, very quiet about it because it's so intuitive for me, and I've been working with it for like a year without a guidebook. So I'm actually just getting to know the guidebook now. But this is the Oracle of the Rose. This is an independently produced deck. It's not the Rose Oracle. This is the Oracle of the Rose. I like to use it to clarify my Tarot of Vampyres pulls. It also likes the Goddess of Love Tarot. And I can't stop working with this deck. I've been working with it a lot personally, not so much in readings. If I read for you with this deck, it's you're few and far between that the deck has come forward to. But it's like I want to be like, this is like I don't want to understand this deck, whatever. But then I can't stop pulling from it every day and getting messages that clarify the tarot pull very well. So it's like, okay, I don't know. I have a little bit of resistance, which is really interesting because I'm actually using the deck a hella ton. So that is very fascinating to me. This is a deck I have a lot of feelings about, and it's been very intimate and personal connection with it. The collage style artwork is lovely. I think we've certainly, you know, you have a lot of collage style options out there right now. But this one's really special. Dark Moon I've drawn so many times. And that's the thing with this deck. Like, it will literally only give me 3 cards, like for weeks on end. And then I'll get another card after, like once I've moved through whatever the lesson was with that. I drew the Dark Moon so many times. And I would like clear, reset, sage, shuffle, clear, reset, sage, shuffle, still draw the goddamn Dark Moon card. It's when you're like, okay, I get it. There's a message I'm not understanding. So it's that kind of deck. It's like a bratty younger brother. But that being said, I actually really love this deck. And like I just said, I've been using it a ton since I purchased it a year ago. And so I will do a full review on the channel, especially now that I've confirmed and know that there is a guidebook. You know, because if you're new to working with Oracle decks and you don't have a guidebook option with a deck, that can be intimidating at first. So sip of tea, we're about 30 minutes in. Dun, 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 dun. Coastal Curiosities. Yes, she's come back. She's back. She's back, bitches. Yes, Coastal Curiosities came stamping through the door last week, and she was like, pull me out of vacation. It's time, girlfriend. So here we are. I love this. This is going in my top 5. I'm going to tell you right now. I can't even begin to tell you how much I love this deck. And I saw that she just came out with a miniature version, so I will be getting that as well. 100% for sure. This is an independently produced Oracle deck. It's just, it reminds me of my great-grandmother. I've talked about this on the channel. And it reminds me of the coastline of Maine. And I love those two things so much that this deck is a home deck for me. And it's just very sweet, but honest, and sometimes a little confounding in that it will confuse you. You really have to slow down and be very aware when you're working with the messages in this deck. But if you can give it that stillness and quiet, the Coastal Curiosities is going to reward you 100-fold for your patience. it's just such a beautiful deck. So that's Coastal Curiosities. She's come back out from her slumber. I'm hoping it's a sign that spring will soon be here in New England. Okay, I'm going to try to move a little faster because I still have several left. The Queen Mab Oracle. Oh, Queen Mab Oracle, you naughty little minx. I love this deck so much. I can't even, like, I don't know, this has to be in my top 5 too. But I have still been working with this for messages of clarity, of support, and of guidance. I've been using it more like once a week or around a specific situation for myself, or when I want to try and understand myself a little bit better. So this deck is still in heavy rotation, and I fucking love this deck so much. I love it so much. I really, if you're on the fence about this one, this is one that I do think is worth giving a try. It's really special. So more than honorable mention because I've been working with this deck a lot. Queen Mab Oracle, absolutely obsessed. Okay, these next two are pairing with my, that's right, Ultimate Baddie, Capricorn Daddy, Tarot of Vampires. So I've been using both of these with my TOV, and yes, obsessed. As these two came in, well, Haunted Manor is new, but Memento Mori came in as Lilith came back into the picture. So she is clarifying in her pulls, clarifying my beloved Tarot of Vampires. I just recently purchased yet another expansion pack to the Memento Mori. Oh my God, this deck is like, if you love this deck, like you need all of the expansions. I'm like obsessed with collecting them all. And I'm like, did I even check in with like why I need that expansion? Like, am I going to actually use that expansion? I don't care. It's Memento Mori. I need it. That's how I feel about this deck. I love this deck. I have it's so aesthetically just absolutely joyous to me. And it really, like, look at this. It just clarifies TOV so well. So this is the Memento Mori, Lenormand, and Oracle. And that I've been using a great deal in heavy rotation with my Tarot of Vampires, which is the next deck on the list, because this is, as always, a daily draw deck for me. But it especially right now is a touchstone as I work with Lilith. It really loves the essence of Lilith, and Lilith loves the essence of it in return. And it's my ride or die. It's my home deck. It's, you know, when you're filled with gratitude, you pull out that deck that's been the deck, you're, you know, the main attraction, your main love. And you've just got to just revel in how beautiful and poignant the connection is, the relationship is. So that was Tarot of Vampires. This is the Haunted Manor Oracle by Syrian Shadow. Syrian did send me this deck. Oh, can I even? Syrian, you just make the best decks ever. And this deck does not disappoint. It has such a clear reading voice. And even though I think you can definitely focus on shadow work with this one, it's also a great all-around reader so far too. Like, I've been able to use it in some client readings this week to clarify day-to-day life things, and it's been very on point. So I would say it's not only a shadow work deck, but this deck was made for someone like me. And aesthetically, let's just... Oh, man, it does not get better. Look at how it just makes my heart so happy, guys. Yeah, I'm in heavy lust with Haunted Manor. Like, oh man. Syrian, you knocked it out of the park. Obsession. I can't help myself. I can't stop. It is everything. Final deck on the list, and then we're going to go into Non-Witchy. Magical Botanical. Yes, it is spring. The spring witch is coming out. She will not be stopped. I love this deck. I know some of you are like, I don't get why you love it so much, Racine. I just do. It's just one of those things, like when a deck matches up with where you're at on your path. Yeah, like how can you just, and I don't even know if it's the imagery, it's the energy. I just feel it. And I think why I've been drawn so much to the Celtic pantheon of late as well is that I'm really reconnecting with that earthy, earth element, Davis of place, spirit of place energy that's very mysterious and mystical, and that you can't define or read about in order to understand. Like, you have to go to the land and experience that magic. And this is a deck that I feel like reiterates that energy, and also the magic and prowess and gothic romance of, you know, being a witch itself. That is a part of our practice that I think surrendering to and just enjoying to the hilt is 100% worth it, and okay, and appropriate. There's nothing wrong with that. The mystery is part of the elevation to how we explore the divine here in this realm, even though this is as divine as this. But when we get to elevate something, not when we turn something, not when we hero worship something, but when we can take the sexy tidbits of witchcraft and also venerate and elevate and enjoy that, understanding that it's expressed through us. I don't know, there's something really yummy about that. So don't stop yourself from doing that from a standpoint of we're supposed to be serious working witches. Okay. Witchy portion, technically witchy portion of this video is done. We're going to move into books, music, and makeup now. So where do I even start? Okay, so Chelsea Wolfe's new album is out. Love it. Been listening to that a lot. Let's see, what else have I been listening to a great deal? The band Frayle. They call themselves Heavy Witch Doom. Oh, I am so, I cannot even, like, there are no words. I love this band. I've been listening to them like non-stop, constantly, absolutely in love with their vibe. The lead singer is a witch. She's very spiritual in her practice. This is the vinyl that I just purchased from them. Very connected to her path. Her lyrics reflect that. And here's the thing. I will try and put a link to their cover of Bela Lugosi's Dead down below, so you can check them out for yourself if you want to get to know Frayle. You either like doom metal or you don't. I believe on the channel, perhaps last year or the year before, I talked about another doom metal act called Funerals. I love doom metal. You have to like that deep bass, slow, heavy drone feel, like drone within music, not drone as in that, but you have to enjoy that type of set. You have to enjoy doom metal if you're going to enjoy Frayle. Her voice is angelic, and when you marry it to the heavy, slow tones of the doom metal music, something really magical happens. And I feel like Frayle and Chelsea Wolfe encompass what my spiritual path looks like in musical form. I just don't think it gets any better than that. And so that album is Skin and Sorrow. I would really recommend that one if you are looking to get to know them. But I have been listening to Frayle nonstop, listening to Chelsea Wolfe. I've been listening to Twin Temple too, because I'm going to see Twin Temple very soon in the flesh. Hail Satan. Yeah, so I'm super excited about that. So I've been listening to Twin Temple too in preparation. Those of you who know, I actually have a lot of Twin Temple paraphernalia littered around when I record. And those of you who love Twin Temple as well, always give me the little, if you know, wink when you guys see it. So yeah, I'm very excited to get a chance to see them live. But I've been listening to their album, I believe it's called God is Dead, a great deal in heavy rotation too, just kind of getting prepared. I have my outfit all picked out. I'm very excited. So musically, that's what's been going on. Let's see. Let's talk makeup. So let me see, what did I pull? I pulled some things aside to share with you guys. So today I am wearing for lipstick, I've been in this really like burnt orange chocolate brown, kind of grungy but make it goth mode, as you can see from today's makeup as well. So I am actually wearing the lipstick Flame Lily from Melt Cosmetics from their collab with Bailey Sarian. I'm wearing that today, but I used Jeffree Star's Dominatrix liner on the edge to darken it up. Love that. Been wearing that a lot. I've also been wearing Unearthly Cosmetics Minerva a great deal. That's that like beautiful orangey red that every time I wear it, people freak out. I get more like, can you tell me what that lipstick is? Requests for that lipstick than anything else. But I was really heavy wearing Minerva at the beginning of February, but now I've switched more into this kind of like rusty red tonality. Another great one with this is Midnight Phlox by KVD. Both of those on heavy rotation. And I do have the next installment of the Glamour Magic series, guys. Don't worry, that is coming to the channel. I've been recording the tutorial offerings that will accompany that video, so that's why it hasn't uploaded yet, but it is coming soon, don't worry. So the other thing makeup-wise I've been using as a base is the cloned fluid eye paint from About Face. That's actually what I have on as my base in my eye socket today. Ooh, mess up my lash there. This color is like, it's showing up lighter on camera than in person. It's this really warm, chocolatey brown with a bit of red in it. It's so beautiful. Obsessed. So the other thing I wanted to share makeup-wise that I've been using a great deal. Side note, I switched over to MAC Fix-Em Plus. No. Wow, Racing words. Fix Plus. MAC Fix Plus Setting Mist. I abandoned my Urban Decay, which I've loved for years. And I was using NYX for a while. I gotta say, this stuff knocks everything else out of the park. So that's the MAC Makeup Fix Plus Setting Mist. All right, let's talk palettes because, yeah, so this is Unearthly Cosmetics Sorceress Smoke, and this is, again, you guys are going to see the theme. See my theme? Warm forest tones. And then I've been using Fatally Yours, Melt Cosmetics with Bailey Sarian. This is what I'm wearing today, actually. Everything on my eyes except for that base is all this palette. Yes, obsessed. The other two palettes that I have been wearing almost daily are the Motet's Dom Goth Ferratu palette. I have to say, if you can only get one palette and you need something that you can do contour and just a basic daily smoky look, this is the palette for you. This palette I use actually a lot. It's one that like, I consider it like in my top 5 as in I don't want to not have it because I can do everything with just this from soup to nuts except for the foundation concealer part of my makeup and mascara. But if I needed to, the Goth Ferratu palette would carry me through. The other palette I have been using a ton, and some of you guys have commented, is Juvia's Place The Coffee Shop palette. Very inexpensively priced palette. Really, really beautiful. The color payoff is same as these other palettes, which cost a lot more than this one. So if you're looking for budget friendly and you want to get that warm neutral but still kind of vampy look that you see me rocking on occasion, this is another great option. So I've been using that a great deal. Yeah, I have really, you know, when you go through those times on your path where your aesthetic changes slightly and then like you settle into what the new aesthetic lens is going to be. I mean, I will always be goth, but I've moved from like more of a pinup goth look to more of a moody vampire romance goth, and I really like it. Yeah, so the eyeshadow looks have a theme right now and I love it. I'm like really deepening into it. Okay, we talked makeup. Perfume, because you guys have been asking about that lately. I have been wearing Tom Ford's Lost Cherry on repeat constantly. I was doing Electric Cherry around Christmas, but I moved over to Lost Cherry the last 2 weeks and I can't get enough of it. It's so freaking good. It's so good. So that's what I've been wearing for perfume. One other thing I will say is I tried the e.l.f. Halo Glow liquid filter. This stuff is worth the money. Amazeballs. I put it on before I put my concealer on and I don't even need foundation right now. Okay, let's talk books. So I just got T. Kingfisher's What Feasts at Night, which is the second book in this series, which started with What Moves the Dead, which was a retelling of a Poe tale. This book was amazing. And so I pre-ordered this one because I was like, I need to know what happens next. I love the main character, really fascinated by, I don't know, just the perspective and the voice of the author in this series is amazing. And plus, look at the covers. They kind of like need to be part of my life, I feel like. The other book I've been working my way through is Hazardous Spirits by Mbara Salam. Love that cover, right? Now, I'm going to talk about these two together because I'm also reading The Warm Hands of Ghosts by Catherine Arden. Similar kind of spiritualist, ghost, mediumship theme, mystery kind of vibe. This is set in World War I. This is in 1920s. I'm enjoying both of them. The author's tone, her cadence, her writing is more pleasurable for me in Warm Hands of Ghosts. So even though this just came out, I'm farther along in reading it than Hazardous Spirits, which I had purchased, I think just after the holidays, after the new year, I believe. And I don't know, I'm probably like 50 pages into this one. I just haven't been able to get into the swing of this author. She's not quite pulling me in the same way that this one is, but I'm enjoying both of them. I would say of the two, The Warm Hands of Ghosts is really, really pulling me in right now, but I'm kind of digging this spiritualist vibe. It matches my aesthetic, let's be real. So, been really enjoying those. I am rereading Fox Mask by Juliet Marillier. Let's take a sip of tea. We've been talking for 40 minutes. Yeah, I'm rereading Fox Mask by Juliet Marillier, especially because I'm feeling so connected to the Celtic pantheon, and she really, oh my God. Her writing is why I am who I am today and why I follow the path that I do today, because she put into words the first time I ever saw how I felt the nature beings where I lived when I was a kid. And she's a druid, and so it really, the myth, the land, the retelling of old stories and fairy tales that Juliet does, I cannot say enough good things about her. So I was really called to start rereading Fox Mask. So that is on my reading list as well. And then this last one may have been on my last seasonal list. I'm savoring it like I would a fine wine, in that Haruki for me is like, well, he's a Capricorn. But he's like an older brother whose wisdom I trust. And so I really savor his work now, because I know when I finish it, I finished it. And even upon reread, it's not quite the same as the first time, you know, sipping that beautiful cup of tea with him, or, well, he did own a jazz bar back in the day, so I feel like we would be listening to Charles Mingus and drinking some just really delicious red wine together. And I feel like he shares life lessons in such a cadence that is very relaxing to my nervous system. I feel very supported by the masculine when I read his work. So I've been savoring Novelist as a Vocation, which is not a new work of his, but it's new to English translation paperback wise. So this may have been on the last list because I haven't finished it yet, but it's because I'm savoring this fucking book because I don't want it to be over. I want to enjoy that bottle of wine and that Mingus album for as long as possible with Haruki, right? I know a lot of people have a lot of opinions on Murakami's work. I love his work, to be very honest with you. And I'm not going to say that I don't, because other people have other opinions. Do you know what I mean? I do. I love his work. So this is a book that's new to me that like popped up on my Amazon recommendations, and I grabbed it because apparently it's a classic. I haven't started reading it yet, so I can't speak to if I'm enjoying it or not, but it's I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. Also, this cover is gorgeous. I will read you the back because, like I said, I literally just ordered it recently, so I haven't really even started it yet because I've got to finish those two spiritualist novels first. For a very long time, the days went by, each just like the day before. Then I began to think, and everything changed. Deep underground, 39 women live imprisoned in a cage. Watched over by guards, these women have no memory of how they got there, no notion of time, and only vague recollections of their lives before. As the burn of electric light merges day into night and numberless years pass, a young girl, the 40th prisoner, sits alone and outcast in the corner. But soon she will show herself to be the key to the others' escape and survival in a strange world that awaits them above. A vivid evocation of another world alive with hope and dignity is the quote from Megan Hunter. So this one is new to me. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have read this one, if you think I will like it or what you thought of it, because I'm intrigued to read that one. Whew, guys, we did it. This is seasonal list. It's like, it's intense because that's just the vibe right now. It's intense lust right now for me on my path. So there's like lots to share in this video. I'm so happy to hang out with you. Thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for being part of this story and part of the journey here on the channel. You mean the world to me. And I just want to take a moment and say special thank you to the Patreon supporters who keep the channel going from a donation level. I'm deeply grateful to each and every one of you, as well as each and every one of you watching. Thank you for being part of our community. As always, guys, I am sending you so much love and many blessings. Let me know what decks you're working with right now, how you're feeling as you step into the energy of a new season, wherever you are in the world. And as always, you guys know, I am sending you so much love and many blessings, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.